What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube page, The World of I, who is I, me, Leon. So, the topic of this video today is college worth it? Now, just recently, this past August 2017, I officially finished my bachelor's degree and graduated from college. And so lately, I've been getting the question from a lot of my friends that didn't go to college when I was going to college. They're asking me, is it worth it? So I figured I'd make this video because I know around this time, I'm assuming this midterms is October, so I'm pretty sure there's thousands of freshmen that are pondering on the question, is all this worth it? As well as there are seniors in high school all over the United States that are, this is around the time they start doing like FAFSA Day. As I recall, they did like FAFSA Day and helping students apply for college, and they're also considering, is a college degree worth it, or going to college worth it in this day and age? To tell you a little bit about my journey is, out of high school, I went to a community college for about 2 years, and that was a huge benefit to go to a community college first, because it allowed me, not only did it help out financially because it's cheaper than going to a university, but also I was able to stay at home. I was also able to kind of work as well, save up money, because my plan was to transfer to a university, and also I didn't quite know what I wanted to study yet. So being that the classes were so cheap, I was able to each semester take one class in things that I was interested in, whether if it was psychology or if it was some sort of science or business, which is what I ended up going to go get a degree in. I went and got a degree in international business with a focus in management at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, where I was able to accomplish that goal, or complete the task of earning a bachelor's. Before I even continue with this video and answer and giving my opinion on my experience, whether or not college is worth it, I want to say, for those that are considering to go to college and they're thinking about the monetary amount, how much this is going to cost, how much they're going to owe afterwards, whether they get a loan from a bank or financial aid or wherever it may be, you have to look at, first and foremost, you got to look at this as an investment towards yourself. And for this investment to work, you have to put in the value when it comes to the investment. You can't just go to college and assume that when you get out, you're going to get a big time job that's going to pay you a bunch of money. It is an investment, and that's how you have to look at it first and foremost. Finally, to answer the question, was it worth it? For me, in some cases, I would have to say yes. But there are a few cases where I would have to say no after I completely finish this journey. The reasons why I would say yes, that college is worth it, is that college gives you a safety net for kind of personal development. So you're not completely getting thrown out into the real world, but you do start to, or in college, you get a certain independence that you might not have had when you was in high school, living with your parents. And you are living in a dorm, or some cases you might be living in student housing, and you're not quite thrown into the real world and having to deal with real world experiences where you're having to pay rent, or you don't have financial aid to help you out with these things. You don't have people supporting you. I mean, you don't have no more student discounts and things like that, because people understand that it is hard to go to college. And so you have a kind of a support system, as opposed to, say, if you just like kind of joined the workforce and did not go to college. Now as well, of course, college is an experience, and within that experience you can also experience other things, such as, for example, for me, something that I highly recommend if you are going to go to college, no matter what you study, is definitely you're going to want to study abroad. Because if you're getting loans and financial aid, even though you're going to have to pay those things back later, you might as well go and travel if that's something that you're interested in. Whether if you do a 1-week program, 3-week program, 3-month program, 6-month program, or 1-year program. I did a 6-month program, and essentially, I mean, my financial aid paid for everything. The way my school did it was, I paid for the tuition of what my school charges, and basically because I wasn't living in a dorm, or I didn't need a meal plan and things like that. That financial aid check was ridiculous. And then on top of that, I studied abroad in the country where the US dollar was almost worth 4 times more. So you can only imagine, when I got there, I really didn't have no worries when it came to money. So I would definitely recommend that's an experience that you want to have if you are going to go to college. Next, of course, you have is Greek life. I also joined a fraternity, something that I knew little about before I got to college. I never would even imagine that it was something that I would do. Now, of course, there are benefits and there's also drawbacks to joining a fraternity. I'll probably make a video on that sometime in the future. The thing you're going to have, of course, are clubs. If you don't necessarily want to partake in Greek life, in that whole social environment, parties and things like that, maybe you want to join some sort of poetry club, a spoken word club, something that I did when I first arrived on campus. I did join a spoken word club because I did at the time, and I mean I still do, I wrote poetry and things like that, and I also joined other organizations. Also, in terms of experiences that you can have, you can connect with a group of your friends and actually do something together. It could be a small business, it could be an organization to help people or volunteer. For example, me and some of my closest friends, we started an event hosting agency where we threw parties, we rented out a couple venues, we did volunteer work, we helped kids take pictures with Santa. We even made some t-shirts. ACYL, let us change your life. And, you know, I mean, we also made a little bit of money doing that. I mean, not enough to, like, make us rich or anything like that, but it was definitely fun to do something with your friends, and also was a learning experience, like how to actually manage a business. It's essentially almost what we had. So in terms of experiences, that's also something that you can do. Get a bunch of your friends and just do your own thing. Whatever interests you guys, just go out and do it. It's nothing better than to find a tribe or a pack of people that believe in the same things that you believe and have the same aspirations as you, and you can put your minds together and do something that, like, I would have never thought I would have done something like that when I got to college, but you never know when you find the right group of people. I also got an understanding of definitely more so how this world works, as opposed to, I feel like if you were to go out into the real world, you would kind of have to learn these things on your own. And I'm the person that likes to teach myself things, but to have to go to an economics class and understand how the economy works. And another reason I would say it also kind of taught me how the world works is, of course, going to college, I came across, because of course, depending on what sort of university you go to, you might get a wide range of kids from all over that may end up going to the school. So I also got to meet tons of people from different walks of life. It really taught me how to work with people who don't have the same views or even come from the same walk of life with me, because definitely when you get out into the real world, you got to know how to work with everybody for the most part. The better you are at working with other people that aren't like you, the more probably successful you will be once you do decide to join the workforce or create your own business or whatever have you. Another thing that I realized after graduating school is that I have the ability to actually commit to something and see it through, because college is definitely a commitment. It's not easy. I mean, you're almost in school. For some people it's 4 years, for some people it's 6 years, however long it takes you. Definitely a huge commitment, and definitely something that you should cherish and feel proud of if you finish. And because it's not easy, as many people know, and for those that are about to go to college or already in college, you're soon going to find that out. Another thing that would make college worth it is within the college environment, there are tons of resources out there to better yourself. So for example, if you're not a good writer, many universities have writing centers. If you're not a good speaker, they also have speaking centers. And so with those resources, it gives you an opportunity to really better yourself. My next reasoning for why college is worth it is that having a college degree can sometimes, I'm going to say sometimes, put you ahead of the pack. Because one thing, like I said, employers going to see that college degree is that you have the ability to commit to something, and they also know for the most part that you're competent enough to do whatever entry-level job that they have. Now, if you can combine your college degree with a wide range of work experience and internships, that's further just going to put you ahead of the pack. Meanwhile, I was in school, I held many different jobs, and that's one thing that will sometimes beat a college degree is work experience. Because when I went to a lot of these career fairs that my school had, it was like, okay, yeah, cool, you're gonna get a degree in this, whatever. All right, what's your work experience? Like, what experience do you have with working? And for me, it felt like sometimes like they didn't even care that I was going to have a college degree or that I had one. They just wanted to know my work experience. So if you can combine work experience with internships, I mean, if you can combine a college degree with work experience, then you're you're golden. And lastly, the reason why I believe college is worth it, for me, when I went to college, I felt like college was a place where you should challenge your beliefs and challenge what you know and expand your intellect, which I did. And so that's something that also um, made it worth it for me. I took classes like religion classes. I mean, I took all sorts of different little classes whenever I could fit it into my schedule, or even just the experience of studying abroad and assimilating myself into somebody else's culture. Just taught me so much more about the world. So definitely it's going to expand your mind, but really any experience you have in life, as long as you take time to look at the lessons that that experience is trying to teach you, is going to expand your mind. Okay, briefly, I'm gonna go over reasons why I believe college wasn't so worth it. Okay, so one thing about me, I'm a very passionate person, and I'm very, how should I say this? Like, I have a good knowledge of self, and one thing that you tend to lack in college. Of course, college is trying to teach you hard skills on like how to balance a checkbook, or how to write a theory, or how to write a paper and things like that. They don't really teach you or sit you down to really have you discover yourself and look inward, exactly what are your talents and what are your passions. That's why so many people, they get college degrees and then they get a job in something they didn't even get a degree in, because they realize what they're really passionate about until years later after they graduated school. And that's one thing I felt after I graduated school, when I really kind of sat down to myself, okay, Leon, what's next? And I started thinking to myself, damn, I have kind of lost touch with who I am and really what I'm passionate about, and what kind of jobs will I have that are fulfilling to me, as opposed to just going to pay me a lot of money. Because I definitely don't want to have a job that's going to pay me a lot of money, but I'm not happy. Which I had friends who graduated and looked up and got jobs that paid like 80K, but they had no lives. They were working pretty much around the clock, and they were just plain miserable. And so that's one reason I would say that college isn't worth it. Another thing that I believe school does that makes it not so worth it, is that it kind of winds you up for that rat race of life, of kind of like, okay, I graduated high school, I need to go to college, I need to get this GPA, I need to do this, I need to do that, okay, I gotta build my resume, okay, now I'm out of school, now I gotta go get this job, this entry-level job, and then I gotta move up, become a manager, make this amount of money. It kind of puts you in that rat race, and it doesn't really slow you down to really, like I said, stop and think what it is you really want and what is most important to you in life. Because before you know it, as I've spoken to so many people that are older than me, that are in their 50s, 60s, and they're just kind of like, hey man, just slow down and take your time to live. Don't always think you gotta move to the next level, that you gotta have a business suit and then you gotta have a nice car, you know what I'm saying? Like, just take time to enjoy your life. And I definitely would say that for me to hear that from people who graduated college decades ago, to tell me like, yo, take my time, I really started to think like, well, I would say that's the reason why college isn't necessarily worth it. Another thing that I really realized when I was in school is definitely the amount of alcohol and drug abuse. Now, I'm not going to say I didn't necessarily partake in those things, especially in those social environments, the parties and things like that, but for the most part, I seen a lot of people that didn't always make the smartest decisions. And you know what I'm saying, I get it, it's all about growing up and, you know, testing your limits and things like that, whatever have you, you know, whatever floats your boat. But I just seen a lot of people that made unsafe decisions, and I know that that's an epidemic on many college campuses. And it kind of hit me by the time my senior year. I'm just like, yo, what am I doing? Like, there's no point in me trying to finish a six-pack an hour, you know what I mean, or doing some crazy shit like that, or like binge drinking or whatnot. It really started, it really hit me where I was like, this is really like bad for your body, you know what I mean, especially where I'm into fitness and things like that. So I would definitely say come my senior year, I definitely slowed down from all of that stuff. And then also, you know, school is extremely expensive, especially in this country. For me to study abroad and meet all these Europeans, it's like, yeah, I'm going to school for free and this and that. It really put things in hindsight for me to realize, like, why is school so expensive? And it is a business. It's a business of education. Sometimes they can care less if you get the education that you need, as long as you're able to pay. But that is a drawback, that yes, it is expensive, but like I said, it is an investment. So you get what you put in. If you take your time to do the internships and things like that and get work experience and perfect your faults, if you're not a good writer, go into the writing center, making yourself a better, more productive person, that so that when you get into the workforce you're more valuable, then yes, even though school is expensive, it will be worth it, because you will get the job and pay off your debt sooner than somebody that just fooled around all throughout college. Now lastly, the reason why I would say that college isn't worth it is it does not, I repeat, it does not guarantee you any sort of success. Like, you still have to grind, you still have to work, the same way you was working to do those papers and things like that. So do not put all your faith in that piece of paper, because as a word of advice, if you're not perfecting what are called soft skills, like I said, like hard skills are like how to balance a checkbook and how to solve equations or what have you, or how to make a website. But if you're not developing skills on like how to present yourself, how to talk to people, how to manage your money, how to mix and mingle with the sex that you're attracted to, or even simply just learning how to cook, if you're not developing those sort of soft skills that make life a whole lot easier for you, if, like they say, you know, it's not what you know, but it's who you know. I mean, that's partly why I got many of the jobs that I got, because it's like, it wasn't what I knew, it was who I knew that helped me put me in the right position in order to shine and to get these jobs. So if you're not developing those soft skills, then, you know, you'll get out of college, and if you don't know how to talk during an interview, even though you have all the credentials, you might not get the job. So that kind of ties in the hand how sometimes college does not guarantee your success. And lastly, for a bit of advice, whatever you do, make it count. That's all. Whatever you're going to do, whether if you go to college, whether if you don't go to college, just make it count. And for those that are in college and when things get hard, I usually live by 4 C's when I was on campus, and that's to stay cool, calm, collected, and just chill. That paper's going to get done. You're going to be able to enjoy yourself. Whatever project you have, just don't let things stress you out. You know what I'm saying? Just take it one day at a time, and you'll be alright. Trust me, you'll survive. So there it is. Is college worth it? As I said before, to me, yes and no. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. So you're definitely going to want to subscribe. I'm definitely going to share more experiences with y'all. Also share a bit of my experiences and journeys through spiritual talk, as well as fitness, mindset. I mean, you might get a little bit of everything for right now. Like I said in my intro video, just going with the flow for right now. So definitely subscribe and stay tuned in. Peace.